Hi, this is Mr. Case, and today it's 16.3. We're looking at the Aztecs. Last time we looked at the Mayans, today is the Aztecs. We're going to see that the Aztecs are influenced by some older tribes. The Olmec, remember them as the Mama culture of Mesoamerica, and the Zapotec, Z-O-P-O-T-E-C. The Aztecs are going to settle in the Valley of Mexico and become a great, great society. But we're going to look at a city stadium before that. It's called Teotihuacan. T-E-O, well, you can see it up there on the screen. Teotihuacan. They are going to be a city-state in the 1st century. That's from from 0 AD all the way up to about 1000. They are going to trade a stone called obsidian. It was hard, glassy rock, which is green or black colored. And they made a living not only trading that, but agricultural items too. And the city is going to decline about 750 AD in prominence. The city is going to decline about 750 AD. But they're going to set the stage for a group called the Toltecs. About 900 AD, the Toltecs are going to rise in power. They live in the very heart of Mexico. They built temples and pyramids. The Toltec were known to be very warlike with conquest. And it's interesting, they worshipped a war god who demanded blood sacrifice. That's going to be an important part of their history. They had a god by the name of Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl was a feathered serpent god that was overthrown. And the legend has it that Quetzalcoatl was exiled eastward on a raft of snakes across the Great Sea, vowing one day to return and usher in a golden age of peace and prosperity. That's going to come back to haunt the Aztecs. Now, as you see the flag of Mexico, part of the history of the Aztecs includes where they should settle down. Now, they were a nomadic tribe from the northern deserts of Mexico. And according to legend, their war god, Huitzilopochtli, said, "You shall put your capital city where you see this symbol, an eagle on a cactus with a serpent in its beak. The place where the eagle screams, where he spreads his wings, the place where he feeds, where the fish jump, where the serpents coil up and hiss. This shall be Mexico Tenochtitlan, and many things shall happen." Well, legend has it, as they worked their way south into the Valley of Mexico, they did see that symbol. It was in a valley that was a stinking swamp, and in the middle was an island, and that's where they saw the eagle with a serpent in its beak. So building that empire, their god, Huitzilopochtli, not only the sun god, but a war god, tells that tribe to look for that symbol. Well, legend has it they did, in a swamp, and they named it Tenochtitlan. 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 The Aztecs are going to team up to form a triple alliance with two other tribes, the Texcoco, T-E-X-C-O-C-O, and the Tlacopan, T-L-A-C-O-P-A-N, the Tlacopan tribe. And they're going to control the region. Their Aztec state is based on conquest or war and tribute. Tribute is tax money for living. Now, the emperor had absolute power in Aztec society. He did have his advisors, but he was the absolute power. And trade is going to expand under his able hand. Agriculture is going to be important. There are agricultural plots on these marshy fringes of Tenochtitlan called chinampas. They drained all the stagnant water and brought in some flowing water and built these floating gardens with chinampas, and it increased production of crops. to the point where at its height about 350,000 people were able to live in Tenochtitlan. The capital was built with canals and causeways. A causeway is like an earthen or dirt bridge that would connect the interior of the city. They also built aqueducts, government buildings, temples, and walls. And that's an artist's depiction of this watery valley, swampy valley, with the center of Tenochtitlan being this island here. And there's canals that small boats could go right into the interior. It was very tough to take over. And then these earthen bridges would connect with the mainland too. Religion is going to be very important. Toltec ways that existed early on are going to be adopted by the Aztecs, including the religion that their god Huitzilopochtli, in which sacrifices to these gods include blood sacrifice. Huitzilopochtli was their sun god, and he needed blood sacrifice. Now this is carried out on a massive scale on the temple altars. And POWs were used, prisoners of war. So on top of the temple, live human sacrifices had their hearts cut out, and the blood would nourish their god, Huitzilopochtli. Now, as you can pretty much figure out, this empire is going to have problems. As it grew bigger, tribes began to understand what was going to happen to them, and they started to rebel from the heavy taxes and from being used as sacrifices. The last great emperor, Montezuma II, in 1502, had to put down revolts due to these heavy taxes and blood sacrifice. And he is the last emperor of the Aztecs, because eventually the Spanish are going to enter and bump off the Aztecs. The arrival of the Spanish is seen as the return of Quetzalcoatl. Now, the Spanish were not light-skinned, but they were lighter skinned than the natives, so they thought, oh, great Quetzalcoatl has returned. Well, that's going to come back to bite them in the bum. Well, that's for another time. This is Mr. K's with 16.3. I'm out.